There's a lot of development happening at Mosgiel's Taieri College, so talking with me about the developments going on is the principal, David Hunter. G'day, David.
Hi Regan, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, and I'm very well, thanks. Look, David, the Performing Arts Centre, what's happening there? Some of the drawings, if you like, outside the school site have gone up, so tell us just a bit about why are you guys building a Performing Arts Centre? How did that come about?
Well, in November 2016, we had a fire in the then Hislop Hall, which a lot of your listeners will remember fondly and possibly not so fondly, as an assembly hall and formal venue, etc. It was declared not fixable, really, so it was demolished. We've waited this long for something to occur. Our friends at the Ministry of Education don't always move at a great speed, but they have moved. We now have the site prepared for a new Performing Arts Centre due for construction to start this November.
This November. So what will be featured in the Performing Arts Centre?
We're hoping to seat about 460 people in a tiered auditorium. So it will have state-of-the-art drama and music facilities, and I'm talking lighting, sounding, acoustics, etc. In saying that, it will also be a multi-purpose venue. Predominantly for performing arts, but we'd like to think we could use the space as the community could and will use the space for anything from band practices to dance troupes to whatever's. Whoever wants to use it for whatever will find a way. So it is going to be a brand new state-of-the-art building, and we're pretty excited to get it.
You're saying you're hoping construction would start in November. How long do you anticipate the construction would take?
Well, probably about 10 months to a year. So although that, it will add to more frustration, we haven't had a hall now for almost 2 years, so we've had a contingency plan in place for that. Predominantly it's school assemblies that have been the issue. We're struggling to put kids in one area to address them. So we can, if we know we're getting something new out of it, we're happy to hold on for another 10 months.
And it's probably good timing. You've got an open day coming up, so that's probably good news to announce at the open day.
Yeah, well, here's the free ad bit, Regan. Thank you for that. This Sunday we have our open day, 1:30 at the college. Look, even if you're not a parent of prospective students, if you're just an interested community member, come along and have a look. We've got, we've had $4.2 million worth of building in the last 18 months. We've just spent about $500,000 on sporting facilities. We've got a floodlit turf now, a second gymnasium, and some cricket nets under construction. So there's been so much happening in the school, and if people on the Taieri are interested to come have a look, they're more than welcome to join us. In saying that, open days are a wee bit like open homes. You put bread in the oven so it smells good and you clean everything up, and it's difficult to show everything in one afternoon. So we also invite people to call in any time. We are a community school. We don't have any fenced off sections. Come into the main office and happy to show people around.
Yeah, David, so a lot of developments happening. What's been sort of the driver behind that? Driven by need or?
Yeah, I think it is need. Possibly fortune as well, Regan, if I was being honest. There are a lot of schools where buildings have fallen into states of disrepair. Our old A block was certainly one of those buildings. Thankfully, it was our turn to get it replaced. After years of patching it up, the ministry decided to demolish, and that is so much easier to work with when you're constructing a brand new building instead of throwing new money at old, which isn't particularly wise. There is that. The fact that Mosgiel is growing as a community, our role is very healthy again. We're well in excess of 1,000 students, so I think the ministry see this area as a potential future growth area in the wider Dunedin.
Yeah, that's a very good point, David. It is probably timely. There's been so much residential growth out on the Taieri, and that's a good indicator, particularly like for the college as well, which could pick up new families, new kids. Yeah,
I mean, you've been here for a few years now, Regan. You'll know that the climate out on the Taieri is always 3 or 4 degrees warmer, depending on who you talk to, and it's a great place to bring up a family, and so people are taking advantage of that and shifting out there, as well as people shifting for other reasons, and in particular retirement is a huge industry out on the Taieri and will continue to be. Mosgiel's looking pretty healthy at the moment.
David, I'll just take you back to the Performing Arts Centre. There were some signs out there talking about the asbestos removal. How bad was that? Was it low level or?
Yeah, it's low level. So when it was demolished, a lot of the linings and ceiling was asbestos, so that took a bit of removal. The issue that we had recently was traces of asbestos in the soil, minute traces, but that kicks in a whole lot of procedural challenges. They had to remove it in the school holidays, for example. We let neighbouring people know it was happening, but it's all gone now. They've scraped it all out, they've tested the soil, and pretty much we're ready to go.
Excellent. So what's happening between now and November, and is it just preparation for the construction?
Yeah, so at the moment, it will go from concept drawings, which you can see on the fence outside of Green Street, to detail drawings, and then it will pretty much go to tender. So looking forward to the first nail going in.
Excellent. And what is the cost for this development?
It's until it goes to tender, we're not at liberty to say. So the ministry go about this by pretty much throwing it to the market, and the cost will be what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Their approach is they see it as being more competitive to tender it without a ceiling, and so that's what they're doing. So
does the cost of the project borne by the Ministry of Education?
that's correct. So this is centrally funded. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, David Hunter, thanks very much for your time, and all the best for the open day.
Yeah, thanks, Regan. Thanks, mate.